Spider-Man, the hero who swings through the city, fighting villains, saving lives, and always doing what's right. But behind the mask of the friendly neighborhood hero lies a world of deep pain, loss, and unimaginable heartbreak. Throughout his journey, Spider-Man has shown us the true meaning of sacrifice and what it costs to be a hero. Today, we're going to relive 5 moments that broke not just Peter Parker's heart, but all of ours. These are the scenes that remind us that even the strongest hero isn't immune to the weight of sorrow. So, grab some tissues as we take you through the moments that shattered Spider-Man's world and ours. At number 5, we have one of the most heartbreaking losses in Spider-Man's story, when Aunt May died in Spider-Man No Way Home. Aunt May wasn't just Peter's aunt. She was his moral compass, his protector, and the last piece of family he had left. She guided him through the toughest times, always reminding him of his responsibility as Spider-Man. But when she collapsed in his arms after being gravely injured, the look on Peter's face said it all. His world was falling apart. Her final words, "With great power, there must also come great responsibility," took on a new, haunting meaning. The tears in Peter's eyes, the desperate cries for her to stay, left us all in silence. We shared in his pain, knowing he had just lost the one person who believed in him unconditionally. This moment was more than just a loss for Peter. It was the moment that defined his journey as Spider-Man. Next, at number 4, is the tragic moment from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, when Gwen Stacy died. Gwen wasn't just Peter's love. She was his hope, his future, the one person who made him feel like he could live a normal life. But in one horrifying instant, all of that was ripped away. The desperation in Peter's voice, the web shooting out in a desperate attempt to save her, it's a moment that still haunts us. When Peter finally reached her, the realization hit us just as hard as it hit him. He wasn't fast enough. That slow, devastating moment when Peter cradles Gwen's lifeless body, whispering to her, "I'm sorry," is etched in our minds. His grief was unbearable, and we felt it with him. At number 3, we face the loss that left us all in tears. When Iron Man died in Avengers Endgame, Tony Stark wasn't just Peter's mentor. He was the father figure Peter never had. The bond they shared went beyond superhero training. It was filled with care, humor, and unspoken love. His words, "We won, Mr. Stark, we did it," were filled with so much pain and disbelief. The look in Peter's eyes as he held Tony's hand, pleading for him to stay alive, was heartbreaking. We saw a kid who had lost someone he looked up to, someone who believed in him when no one else did. And in that moment, we all felt Peter's pain, the pain of losing someone who had been there every step of the way. It was a victory, but one that came at an unbearable cost. At number 2, we remember the heart-wrenching moment in Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man's final goodbye to MJ. After everything Peter had been through, after all the battles and all the losses, he was faced with a decision no one should have to make. To save the people he loves, he had to let them go. As Peter stood on that rooftop saying goodbye to MJ, we could feel the weight of every word. He promised they would find each other again, but deep down, we all knew this was their final moment together. The pain in Peter's eyes, knowing that he had to walk away from the love of his life, was overwhelming. It wasn't just a goodbye. It was the end of everything they had shared. And as Peter left her, with tears in his eyes and a broken heart, we were left grieving alongside him. The weight of his sacrifice hit us all. He was saving her, but losing her at the same time. And finally, at number 1, we come to the saddest moment of all, when MJ doesn't remember Spider-Man. After the spell erased Peter Parker from everyone's memory in Spider-Man No Way Home, Peter found himself standing in that quiet cafe, face to face with the love of his life, MJ. But this time, she didn't know him. The connection they once shared, the memories of their time together, it was all gone. The look of recognition in her eyes was missing. And Peter, standing there alone, realized that everything he had fought for was lost. He could have told her the truth, but instead, he quietly accepted his fate, choosing to protect her from the dangers of his life. As he walked out of the cafe, leaving behind the woman he loved, we felt the weight of his loneliness. It wasn't just MJ who forgot him. It was the world. These moments remind us that even heroes aren't spared from heartbreak and loss. Spider-Man may be a symbol of hope, But behind that mask is a young man who has faced more pain than anyone should ever bear. He's lost family, friends, and even the love of his life. But through it all, he never stops fighting. That's what makes Peter Parker more than just a superhero. He's someone we can all relate to. As we look back on these deeply sad moments, we are reminded of the strength it takes to carry on, even when everything seems lost. Thank you for joining us as we revisited these unforgettable moments. And remember, even in the darkest of times, Spider-Man teaches us one powerful lesson. No matter how many times you fall, you have to keep swinging forward.